Well, welcome everyone, and to you of Holton, Maine. We're so happy that you came out on Mother's Day, and just would like to say Happy Mother's Day to each and every one of you. Oh, it's so wonderful for me to be back here. I wanted to share with you, I said I would go to Mile High Church, and I did in Denver. And it's got all the bells and whistles, and it's large and big and mega and so forth. So it was very exciting to hear the message and everything and hear the rock music. My daughter-in-law's mother said, "Oh, that's where they have rock musicians and everything." And sometimes we hold up our hands like this at the end of the peace song. She says, "Oh, they do this and praise the Lord." And I said, "Oh, no, we don't do that. We don't do that there." But I'm just so happy to be here. Well, I know everybody, and everybody knows me. And just to see all your beautiful smiling faces and thinking about you and thinking about this morning. So, welcome, and I welcome myself home. Today, to get us started, we've already listened to Ancient Mother, and we'll be singing that later. But we're going to be listening to Returning to the Mother of Us All. And it's by Jennifer Bearson. And I have a sheet later I'll pass out. was recorded in a 6,000-year-old acoustical sound system by Jennifer Berezin, and there was a Navajo chanter, Sharon Birch, that was chanting the other things that you heard. This was recorded in the oracle chamber in the Hypogeum at Malta. And I pulled out a document on her making this recording. They had this beautiful healing and sound system 6,000 years ago. And it's just amazing. So it really doesn't compare to anything that we have today, even though we've got wonderful sound systems today. Well, it's time for our chalice lighting. As we get started today, and we light the chalice knowing that each one of us is a light in the world. And let that be representative of the healing and returning to the mother of us all. Let's take a moment of singing silence on this Mother's Day to honor our mothers, our grandmothers, our ancestors. Blessings for our mother who gave us life. The opening words today are from the Daily Word, and we have the honor of having Linda read the Daily Word.
This is a blessing for mothers. There's nothing quite like a mother's love, so nurturing, caring, and warm. Today I bless the women in my life who express this love in all they do. Whether it's the woman who raised me or any of the other women I know who so generously shared a mother's love, I have felt the care of God through their tender touch and encouraging words. Over the years, I have grown strong and confident under their kind direction and have relied upon their wisdom. The divine feminine flourishes on earth in the loving words and healing hands of mothers and all those who share a mother's love. I bless them and pray they know the love of God as they have shared it so generously with me.
And we're going to sing out of our Teal book. And it's on page 1069, Ancient Mother again, so that we have it grounded into our being. And Dale, myself, and Lee are going to sing it through once, give you an idea, and then would you sing it through 2 times after that?
Ancient
This candle today for joy. Joy for a safe trip of 2.5 weeks, going all over Mother Gaia, exploring, meeting people, and being safe, safely guided home.
HR has recalls on it, 3 different ones. I had called the company, they told me they weren't doing anything about it. So when I went to Prescott, I went in, they're gonna fix my HHR. And I'm going to Prescott for Mother's Day today, so hopefully we'll have safe travels.
Just wanted to acknowledge for all of the mothers that have lost children, that are estranged from their children, any mothers that have been longing and haven't had any kids of their own but are still mothers in their own right. Just want to write this for you. And also Friday night I was on teddy duty because Josh was so kind, he does it during the week so I can work, and he's, crying and he's having a hard time sleeping, and I just had this overwhelming sense of like this ancient, it's not like it's like this ancient love that I had for him, and I felt like I had loved him over lifetimes. It was really strong, and I just had this vision of us as like early humans, that I was just like holding this little baby early humanoid, and I was there with him for all of time, and it was just really powerful. I've never experienced that before. So, there's that.
That kind of reminds me of that Swart movie, when you talk like that. That young girl heard that baby crying in that little pod.
Mm-hmm.
She was like looking back in time, seeing like caveman days. She's beating a saber-tooth tiger, and then she's like deflecting an arrow with her shield in the Greek era. It was kind of funny. They were playing. I can't stop loving you. This is a candle for me being joyous with my kitten and everything that I've been having since last Thursday. And she's been a joy to have. Come on, come on, come on. And she's, there's no separating her from me. But, no, you will not get her.
Yeah, she's already mine when I'm there.
fortunate enough to see the premiere of the ballet Piece of Wind in Fredericton on Friday, and music written by Jeremy Dutcher, who is a Wolastoqey musician from New Brunswick. And the ballet was about ancestor stories featuring the earth, the air, the sky, the water, and their epic battle with greed. And in the ballet, the earth and the elements won. And it was just such a powerful ballet. A lot of local Wolastoqey people from St. Mary's were there, and it just felt like this, we are here, and it was just very powerful.
This is kind of moving forward, I guess. I was finally able this week to get a medication that I didn't react to for my hands and feet. And I've only used it for 3 days, and it's already a lot better than it was. So finally, after like a month, finally.
Light a candle of thanks, and I think many of us in the room, it's an occasion that we should let go past. We all had a fabulous time right through those doors last night. And I came to Holton in 2010 with no intention of staying here, and here I am nonetheless. At some point, it became obvious I needed a place to belong. The theme of this winter's conversations. And I'm so grateful for the welcoming community we have here, for what we had last night. And I do want to say, you could call this all magical, but all of magic has a hand behind it. And Dave, you are the hand behind so much of what we get to do here that brings us together. And it's your caring and thoughtfulness, and I appreciate it, and I'm sure everybody here appreciates it. Thank you.
Hey, everybody, moms, yeah. It's just really cool to watch, because as a father, I can create so much space, and it's actually healthy. Like, my kids have more room to grow and be themselves when, as the father, I can create that identity space. But moms are like always accepting, always loving. They're like, you are part of me. And at the same time, the child goes away, but never goes away. There's always that connection from mother to child. And it's very tangible. Like, I can see it, and it's beautiful, the relationship. And I feel some of that here with our community. The acceptance, the nurturing. You can leave and you can come back. It doesn't matter where you're at in life. You're accepted here. So, thank you, everyone, for that. This is for all the moms. And what they do for us.
This is our silent candle as we hold in the light all these joys and concerns, and hold in our support page that Reverend Dave sends out all the requests on there for prayer. And so we just hold it in the light right now, and we may say any names in this moment of silence.
Circuit and cord.
I give thanks for all the joys that were created here and expressed, and also we know that all the concerns, our prayers will be answered in the right way, at the right time, in the right moment. So it is. Amen. And now let us do our group reading together. It's on page 573. It's called Mother's Day Proclamation. Arise then, women of this day.
Arise, all women, without hearts, whether your baptism be that of water or of tears.
Say firmly, we will not have great questions decided by irrelevant agencies.
Our husbands shall not come to us, reeking with carnage, for caresses and applause.
Our sons shall not be taken from us to unlearn all that we have been able to teach them of charity, mercy, and patience.
We women of one country will be too tender of those of another country to allow our sons to be trained to injure theirs.
From the bosom of the devastated earth, a voice goes up with our own. It says, disarm, disarm.
The sword of earth does not pronounce justice. Blood does not wipe out dishonor, nor violence indicate possession.
As men have often forsaken the plow and the anvil at the summons of war, let women now leave all that may be left of home for a great and earnest day of counsel.
Let them meet first as women to bewail and commemorate the dead.
Let them then silently take counsel with each other as the means whereby the great human family can live in peace.
And each bearing after her own time the sacred empress, not of Caesar, but of God.
To lead us into the service then today, we'll be listening to a musical piece to help us know about Holy Mother by Jan Garrett and J.D. Martin.
Hi everybody, Jan Garrett here,
Hi, I'm J.D. Martin.
and welcome to our living room. We're going to do a song for you this morning that's called Holy Mother.
And we are joined by a wonderful band. You won't see them, you will hear them, of course, and Kelly Coffey on harmony vocals.
Should we just do it? Call the band in.
Holy Mother of God.
She comes in with a gypsy midwife, rings on her fingers and bells on her toes, singing her way through the sorrows of this life. She shall have music wherever she goes, music wherever she goes. Dancing along in the madness, she's got her feet on the ground. She'll beat you and turn you around. She'll turn your whole world upside down. Holy Mother, Holy Mother of God, saving the sisters and brothers. Holy Mother, Holy Mother of God. She is the heart of the darkness. She is the port in the storm. Hers is the fierce love that holds us together, the fire that keeps us warm. She's the fire that keeps us warm. She is the wind in the canyon. She is the rain on the land. She knows the stars and the seasons by heart. You live in the palm of her hand. You live in the palm of her hand. Holy Mother, Holy Mother of God, saving the sisters and brothers. Holy Mother, Holy Mother of God. Softly and tenderly calling, blessing the living and holding the dead. When everything else has fallen away, she is the voice in your head. She is the voice in your head. Holy Mother, Holy Mother of God, saving the sisters and brothers. Holy Mother, Holy Mother of God. Holy Mother, Holy Mother of God, saving the sisters and brothers. Holy Mother, Holy Mother of God. Holy Mother of God. She comes in with a gypsy midwife. Holy Mother of God, saving the sisters and brothers. Holy Mother of God. Holy Mother of God.
Holy Mother of God. I believe that's a play on the goddess Kali. I'd like to read, to start off the service, out of the Thriving as an Empath book, and it's called Honor the Feminine. Both men and women have feminine or yin energy. This is yielding, flowing, feeling the moonlight energy within each one of you, men and women. The yin complements the masculine or the yang energy, and the yang energy makes things happen, solves a problem, and march forward to conquer the world. Balancing your masculine and your feminine sides keep you passionate and vibrant. On Mother's Day, let us pay special tribute to all mothers and to the mother within to acknowledge the power of the feminine. Be grateful for the blessings of being a parent and say thank you to your own mother. Mothers and grandmothers can be our greatest spiritual teachers. They know exactly which buttons to push in us. Let us use these prompts to grow emotionally and spiritually. The feminine is a part of you connected to the earth and all her creatures. She is a goddess of creation and the birth giver to life. Praise the feminine. Feel her warmth and strength in your body. Feel her deeply. I went to the Parliament of the World Religion pre-COVID. It was held in Toronto. And I made my way down to the basement where the Native Americans were holding all of their talks and their ceremonies. And there I learned about ancestral healing. They were doing ceremonies, bringing in, honoring their ancestors, and the healing that needed to be done, as many of us, as we go through life, need ancestral healing within our ancestral lines. And then during COVID, I found ancestral healing courses, of course, on the Shift Network, and one that I went to was with Rabbi Tirsa Firestone. And I chose her particular class because, first of all, I wanted to learn more after being in Toronto and learning about ancestral healing and how to go about healing my ancestral line. And I had found out that I had 3% Jewish background, which I don't have any idea where that came from in my DNA. And it was there that Rabbi Tirsa introduced us to the song, Returning. And it just made such an impact on me that I kept playing it over and over and over, returning to the mother of us all. And I thought maybe that's part of it, part of the healing process. And listening to this song brought me back my interest, my deep interest in ancient worship of the goddess, since that was 6,000-year-old temple to the goddess. And then next, I took a course from Mirabai Starr, and she is also of Jewish descent. And in her book, Wild Mercy, I want to read this part from you on page 11. And she says, let's pretend. Let's just pretend for this moment, for this time, that the absolute, and I can remember that word, Dave, when you were talking about perennial philosophy, absolute. And some people say, Mary, what does that mean? And I said, that's another word for God. So we're talking about God here. Let us just pretend God, the great mystery, which is Native American, and the ground of being, you. Let us just think and pretend for a moment that sometimes God expresses itself in the body of a woman. In the Jewish tradition, which is not known very well for feminism and in their history, and it is ironic that the holiest day, the holiest of holy, even holier than the high holy days within Judaism, is Shabbat. And that happens on Friday evening. They light 2 candles. The woman does this, the woman of the household, and that during that lighting of that candle, at sundown, The Shekinah comes flying through all the windows of the house on light. She comes with wings of light. Then there's also the blessing of the bread and then the blessing of the wine. Now, doesn't that sound real familiar? Within our traditions, and within our Protestant traditions. And so then you don't do any work on Saturday, not at all. So the women are really busy though on Friday, making all that soup and getting ready so that they don't have to cook them on Saturday. But anyway, Shekinah, she is the Holy Mother, favorite sister, intimate friend. She is the beloved. Sometimes we use that word, beloved, for God. In Judaism's sister tradition, which is Christianity, she is Sophia from long ago, holy wisdom. Mirabai, in her book, Wild Mercy, she doesn't really bash men, and I don't think we have bashed men here. Even though we're standing in divine feminism, it's not like being the feminist maybe of the 60s that many of us went through and burning our bras and I don't know what all we did. But anyway, she knows that, that we need the male species. We definitely do. And we have that male energy within us also, women. We also have that. However, Mirabai does admit that women have been left out in spiritual practices, in spiritual religion, if you'd like to call it that, for thousands of years. But she proclaims that we as women, we can be spiritual mystics, ordinary spiritual mystics, and we can bring the love to the planet by our practices that we do. And as we begin looking more and more at the divine feminine, we have to admit that I know that Reverend Dale and Dave and I had talked about female ministers, and it hasn't been that long in history that there have been female ministers up here in this position. On August 11, 2001, as I was preparing to try to get into the ministry, I just thought you went and they'd go, here I am, and they'd let you in, but it didn't work that way, There was things that you had to do and prepare for. So I was writing this poem that I'd like to read to you, and it was going back to my childhood when I was about 12 years old. Sweet little girl dressed in shabby clothes, within her heart the love of God she knows. Leaving the rickety house, she wanders into the bright sun. Wandering through the fields and thinking about God is her primary fun. As she walks through the green pastures, deep thoughts are on her mind. Where do we really go, God, when we die? She climbs upon a fence post and to the cows begins to gently sing. After the song, she states, I now have this important message to bring. Clearly she says, now, my dear friends, let us turn to hymn number 103. Before that sermon begins, let us sing just a closer walk with thee. This joyous activity goes on for a long time. She is having such fun, but wait, isn't this a crime? It is 1958, and girls aren't supposed to be able to do this job. Oh, why can't I do this work for God, she sobs. Because men are in the charge of the world, don't you know? In this day and age, that just is how it is. You know this is so. So the dream was stuffed way down deep inside her heart. I guess all this is true, and I haven't been very smart. I know. I love children, so I'll become a teacher. I'll never again think about becoming a preacher. The years fly by and she forgets the long-lost dream, until one day she remembers and begins to cry and scream. Oh God, I was mistaken. You've always been so good. Forgive me for getting caught up in the outer world of shoulds. A minister I perceive I have always wanted to be. Please walk with me, God, and continue to guide and help me. And so, 2 years later, I was admitted into ministerial school. In that video of Mother of the World that we watched by Constance Denby, it's really a take on the Bodhisattva Kuan Yin in the Buddhist tradition. And the story of Kuan Yin was she was ready to go into nirvana when she passed, when she died. And she says, no, I'm not going into nirvana. I'm going to stay here and help people. And many Buddhists pray to her, and she has 1,000 eyes and 1,000 hands and everything. And so that was what that was all about. And she's a goddess of compassion. I think about my days also when I was a fundamentalist. And then later I go, well, I've gone to every fundamentalist church I can think of, and they're all saying they're right. And I go, well, yeah, you're right. So I thought, well, I'll go over here to the Catholic Church. And so I went to the Catholic Church and I learned about Mother Mary, and where's that statue? And I had my Mother Mary statue, and I just thought it was so pretty and everything. And I had to go to confession several times, lots of times. And so, so I know my Hail Mary's real good, and I know how to say the rosary with Our Father and everything. So, there was Holy Mother, Mother of God, Mother of Jesus, and so I learned about that. But they also said they were right. And I go, well, no, wait a minute, wait. They were the first, whatever. But anyway. And then we talked about Holy Mother of God, talked about Kali in the Hindu tradition also. So she'll eat you and turn you around. She's the dark goddess. And I have to say, sometimes I'm really aligned with that. And boy, does she ever eat me and turn me around, because it's all about transformation. Well, one of the most important divine females within me and that I know about is when I learned about white buffalo calf woman from the Lakota. And the story goes like this. There were 2 warriors out on the plains looking for food. The people were starving, and so they were out there. And one male, there was in the distance a beautiful, beautiful woman. And he had unholy thoughts about this woman. And the other warrior was a little higher in consciousness and was not thinking that way. So as that one warrior walked toward her to grasp her, he turned into a skeleton, and all of his bones just crumbled to the ground. And so the other male was very afraid. But she said, it's okay, you've got a good heart. Don't be afraid. She says, go back to your village and prepare for me a teepee, a place, and I'm bringing you teachings. I'm bringing you teachings for the whole tribe so that you will thrive. And so they waited. He went home and made the teepee and was telling everyone about her. And so they waited. And finally one day she came walking across the plains. And she was carrying a pipe, a sacred pipe. And she was singing as she came. Oya te wamaya kampo. Oya te wamaya kampo. Le chanupa kele wakanyelo. Oya te wamaya kampo. Loosely translated, that means I am bringing to the people a sacred pipe, one to live by. who live by the pipe. So she came into the village and she stayed and she taught them all the lessons that they needed to know to live a good life and to thrive with these beautiful teachings and songs. And so one day though she says, well, it's time for me to go. I'm going to be leaving. This sounds familiar too. And so she walked out on the plains and there was a wallow there, a dust wallow. And she walked into that and she turned into a white buffalo calf. And now, I don't remember the year, but there have been many white buffalo calves born, fulfilling prophecy. Well, we heard all the names of the goddesses in Ancient Mother before the service, so there's so many, we couldn't go through every one of them. But it seems that the goddess is really coming back into, what would you say, fashion, or into our consciousness, I would say, more than fashion. And I wanted to read a poem, and Lee, maybe you'll remember this. This was on January 20th, 2014 in your writing class down at the college. Do you remember that? And I wrote this poem that day that I came to your class. Oh, ancient goddesses of long ago, we once paid to you homage, this I know. Today we have decaying temples that were built for you. They lay in ruins now, so what can we do? How do we begin to honor you once more? Or do we just say, oh, this is all crazy and it's all folklore? No, just wait. Now we have circles, classes, and reading of sacred cards, singing and chanting, and at last becoming a bard. O great goddess, to you I now pray. You have risen from the ashes and have showed us a new way. So on March-April of 2010, I was able to write for Velocity magazine, and I wrote the marriage of the divine feminine and the divine masculine. And I just wanted to say these concluding words. The divine feminine nature within our consciousness is asking us to wake up. Remember, we're supposed to be waking up now more and more. She is asking us to wake up to the marriage of the divine feminine and the divine masculine. Through this marriage, the birth of the Christ consciousness is possible. The marriage of the Mother, Father God will transform our realization of our oneness, and we will realize the sacredness of all beings. I did make some copies. I don't know if there's enough to go around. I'll just put those on the altar here, and if you would like one, you could come up and take one. So in conclusion, though, I wanted to play another song, just a very short song by Jennifer Barrison, and it's mainly for Dave because on the bulletin every week he has a long saying for what is it, for what, Dave? The songs, may everyone be happy. It's a Buddhist chant that we do.
Yeah, the 4 blessings.
The 4 blessings. So this is Jennifer's version of it, and it's a blessing for all of us.
May all
you can see, Dave, that when we have our online meditation and we do the chant, I'm glad we're on silence because I can't chant the way that we're supposed to. And so I sing that song. And that's a great prayer when you're thinking of someone and to send them blessings. So today I hope that you've been introduced to many goddesses and go deeper and think about the goddesses and the goddess within us and also the masculine within us. And just think that when we do put the pipe together and it's all wrapped up, but when we undo it to be in ceremony, that we are joining the male and the female. The bowl is for the female and the stem is for the male, and it's put together in a sacred manner with song. So I just bless all of you. May you all be happy. May you all be safe. May you all be, how does it go then, the rest? Be happy and safe and well and wonderfully blessed. God bless you.
And bless you too.
Oh, thank you. So we extinguish the candle, but we know that our light is still shining brightly.
We want to thank everybody for tuning in today. If you'd like to show your support, please hit the like button, subscribe to our channel if you're not already subscribed, and help us out by sharing this message by clicking the share button. If you'd like to make a monetary donation to you, Church Holton, there is a link to our online donations in the video description down below. And again, thank you so much and have a blessed day.